Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will be taking a look into a new paper, relatively new. It's called Chem Vision Language Model, Exploring the Power of Multimodal Large Language Models in Chemistry Area. So what this paper is about, it's essentially proposing an open source LLM model that can look into chemistry data and understand it, right? So, yeah, this model is available on Hugging Face. If you want to check it out, please do so. But for now, we're just going to go through its abstract. So, right. Oh yeah. Before we get started, I just want to mention that the reason why I'm covering this paper is because I got a meeting coming up next week, and I have to present something, right? And I think that this paper would be a good thing to do because most of my audience are chemists, right? So I hope they will appreciate it as much as you guys will here. But let's get right into it, shall we? Okay. So large language models have achieved remarkable success. Okay, those are some words right there. Yep, it's useful, but most of them requires the processing of visual information, which cannot be done by existing LLMs, and that's true. Yeah, so something like GPT 4.0 is able to handle visual information, but I guess this is another attempt at it, a more specialized attempt. Okay, this brings a growing need for the capability of combining the multimodal information for chemistry. So they proposed ChemVLM, an open source multimodal model for chemistry tasks. So this ChemVLM it is trained on curated bilingual multimodal dataset. Okay, right. So, and what the mean meant by bilingual in this case, and I would assume, is that it is able to converse in Chinese and English at the same time while dealing with chem- chemistry tasks. And I think this is quite an interesting combination because I rarely seen a multimodal paper and it's like focusing on chemistry, but now it's like adding this bilingual nature to it. Yeah, it's yeah, yeah, but I don't really know why the bilingual part has to be in there, but we shall see. It would be interesting if they show some results, which I think they will, about how the model performs for Chinese and how the model performs for English, right? But it's all about chemistry in that sense. So it's kind of a queer combination in that sense. So okay, it stands for both visual and textual chemistry information. So molecular structures, reactions, chemistry questions, and we developed three data sets for comprehensive evaluation. Uh, Chemical optical character recognition, I'm just OCR, chemical reasoning, and molecule understanding. And then benchmark it across a range of open source and proprietary LLMs. Uh, Experimental result demonstrate ChemVLM achieves competitive result across all tasks. So, and that's the GitHub link. I mean the Hugging Face link right there. So it's a 26 billion parameter model. Kind of huge, but yeah. But if you have the compute available, you can use it. But certainly not for my machine. Obviously not. So yeah. So okay, right. So while I'm going to cover this paper, I will be creating a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to use for the upcoming meeting presentation that I'm going to have next week. So yeah, so let's go to the conclusion and see what they have there. Conclusion, where is it? Any conclusion? Yeah, okay, right. In this study, we propose a ChemVLM. It leverages the strength of ChemLM 20 billion and intern BIT 6 billion through a two-stage training. And I'm going to assume that it is essentially using the intern vision transformer as a vision processing module, which you then get the embeddings from it, and then you feed it into the CAM LLM model, right? I think it has to be that way. So, okay, currently their model incorporates image modalities and next processing capabilities for molecular graph and time series data. Okay, I'm not so sure what they meant by time series data. I mean, I know what a time series data is, right? But for something like molecular property prediction, when you're talking about time series data, it kind of reminds me of molecular dynamics simulation. So maybe a multimodal chemistry model that can also handle that can also understand MD simulation trajectories in that sense. That could be possible. Okay, limits its effectiveness in understanding complex chemistry things. Additionally, high compute power is required for its training and deployment, obviously, because you're essentially doing a fine-tuning process. Okay, and say a lot of different things right here, but that's not really important. Yeah. So the future work, it's not that great in my opinion, but it's okay. All right. So I guess let's get right into it, shall we? So yeah. So okay, we first have to identify the problem that they're trying to solve. So let's see. Okay. So this is okay, so this passage right here, okay, the way that I'm going to create my PowerPoint presentation is to start off with a problem statement, right? So, okay, the current state, yep, so the current state is like, yep, LLMs are great for scientific fields, including chemistry, yep, so that's the current state. But now I'm going to define the problem. However, many chemistry tasks requires visual information, right? And the LMs cannot handle that. So, so this work, yep. So this work, what they're trying to do. So the proposed Chem BLM. Yep. So let's put it right here. For chemistry applications. So it's an open source chemical multimodal model, and yeah, and then I have like the methods here. So what we are going to do is that yeah, because my audience are all chemists, so I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible here. So So I mean, for me, it makes sense, but for them, it might not. Okay, right. So this is the methods right here. Right. Let's highlight that. Copy and paste it. So ChemVLM is trained on that, and we developed three data sets for that. Okay, so this is the model, and this is the data set contribution. All right, all right. So yeah, the good thing about reading through the abstract, right, is that kind of gives you an overview of the entire paper, so I can just like use use it to guide my presentation. So okay, that's the headings for the results. Okay, so we benchmarked. Yep. So that's that. And then here for all evaluated tasks. Yeah. Conclusion. Yeah. Conclusion. And we shall get the conclusion from the conclusion paragraph. Let's just copy and paste it. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, right. So that's one of the paragraphs. And here's the other one. Let's just copy and paste it for now. Okay, right. And that's the conclusion slide. Obviously, that's a bit wordy, but I'm intentionally making it so that I can just like summarize it even more and then aggregate more different information from other parts of the paper into it. All right, let's start with the introduction now. Okay, LLMs have been widely adopted. Yep. However, despite their promising potential, pure text-based LLMs are restricted, right? So you can't really use it for a lot of things like molecular structures, although you can potentially like represent it in like smiles, or maybe you can describe it verbally, in text, right? So I don't see if that's like a real problem there. Obviously, your LLM has to be really large and capable to understand those things. But anyway, that's not the point of the work here. These limitations can impede. Okay, so okay, and they argue that not being able to see restricts their ability in reasoning for chemistry tasks and can lead to misinterpretations or hallucinations. Okay. So, okay, moreover, chemists often spend significant time manually redrawing chemical images using ChemDraw. For those who do not know, ChemDraw is basically this proprietary software that chemists usually use to draw their molecular structures, right? And it's actually a pretty expensive software. Like if you take a look at here, yep. So that's ChemDraw there, right? Yeah, and there's a pro version here, and you will usually get ChemDraw as part of your undergrad curriculum, right? If you if you are going for a chemistry degree, but if you ask me, honestly, I hate these proprietary software. They are usually quite bloated and it costs money, which is a shame, you know. Okay, to convert them into machine readable formats such as smiles, right? I mean, yeah, or IUPAC names. Okay, although OCR for chemistry models like MolScribe and Decimer have achieved success in converting chemical images into smiles. Their capabilities are limited to modality conversion and fails to address multimodal chemical reasoning. Okay, at this part, they actually describe some examples and followed by their limitations, and that's something that I'm going to put in the presentation as well. So okay, let's go. Okay. For reasoning tasks, naive modality conversion is inadequate. It's not enough, and a more sophisticated and a more complicated capability can offer a deeper insight into non-text data. Therefore, a model that can bridge visual and text information for chemistry is desired. Okay, so right here, they've described a lot of things here, but basically this is they're describing some current state of the art approaches for chemistry, but it doesn't seem to work that well. Okay, so let's put it here. Problem ChemLLM. Okay, ChemVLMs. So we will just put this paragraph right here. Yeah. So let's do this. Okay, let's copy this entire paragraph here. Yeah. And now here comes another problem. Okay, right. So after that paragraph, they went on talking about the problem with the general LLMs, like the Llama models and the GPT models there. Well, we're gonna find out together right now. So, okay, while existing multimodal LLMs, right, such as from OpenAI, is very good at diverse data types, their generic natures fall short in the chemical domain due to lack of specialized knowledge. This gap necessitates a model specifically designed for chemistry that integrates textual and visual information, thereby enhancing, productivity analysis for the chemist. So, and they argue that essentially these general models, sorry about that. Yeah, so they argue that these general models are not specialized enough, right? But to be honest, there should be results that convey their limitations, and I'm pretty sure they will show it eventually in the results there. Okay, so in order to address these two paragraphs of issues, they introduced ChemVLM, an open source multimodal LLM for the chemical domain built upon, the vision transformer model and the LLM model. Okay, so let's highlight this right now. Just let me highlight this. Okay, so built upon the VIT-MLP, the Vision Transformer Multilayer Perceptron LLM architecture. Okay, so their model combines a vision transformer. Everyone is using that for image encoding with ChemLLM. Okay, so, and to say that this approach bridges the gap in domain-specific knowledge needed to process the multimodal chemical tasks. Okay, so, and they say a multilayer perceptron acts as a projector to perform image text alignment. Okay, so we implement a two-stage supervised fine-tuning strategy to enhance model performance. Okay, and I'll talk about the strategy here. So in the first stage, they freeze the LLM component because the LLM itself has been pre-trained. When I'm talking about the LLM, I'm talking about the large 20 billion parameter model called ChemVLM. In this case, it's frozen. And in the second stage, they went on and unfreeze and update all parameters to adapt the model to downstream tasks. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm thirsty. Jeez, my shirt is wet now. Okay, let's go. Okay, let me see. Okay, to rigorously evaluate the performance of chemical domain models, they introduced, OCR datasets, reasoning datasets, and chemistry datasets. Yep. So each dataset, blah blah blah. Okay. So Chem OCR focuses on conversion. Okay, right, conversion, and offering bilingual questions that challenge the models to recognize smiles from molecular images. Right. So that's what the dataset does. And the next dataset, the reasoning dataset, right, is mainly derived from the chemistry section of a Chinese college entrance exam and expands to assess the model on its ability to solve complex multimodal reasoning problems. Okay, so it's essentially Q&A in this case, but you take a picture of the Q, right? Next, okay, ChemBench extended from the original ChemBench, right? So it's multimodal, includes molecule caption and molecular property prediction tasks with the images given, right? So those are the three tasks, right? Okay, and they went on to test it out on open source benchmarks. Okay, so in their assessment, right? So ChemVLM outperformed the baseline models and achieved state of the art on multiple tasks, surpassing GPT-4 vision models. Now that is incredible there. Okay, and this is the selling point. Yeah, the selling point. Right. So the selling point is ChemVLM outperforms GPT-4V. Right. Or we just call it GPT-4. Okay. Yeah, and they listed out their key contributions here. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, it's pretty much covered so far. But right now, let's go back making the PowerPoint. So blah blah. Okay, right. And right here to talk about their methods. Okay. Okay, and now let's go to the methods here. So what they really have to say more specifically that it's their Chem BLM is built upon the VIT MLP LM architecture. Save that. So and those are the functions for image encoding. And then we have okay, so and we have ChemVLM for language understanding. No. Okay, so and we have a multi-layer perceptron for the alignment process. Okay, cool. So these are the few. So there's 3 components here, right? Yeah, I'm not exactly confident that my audience will understand what a vision transformer is, but I'm just going to describe it as some kind of an eyeball in at that point. So okay, now for the training process, okay, and this is the architecture. So let's do that. You know, I actually don't like. I actually don't feel like making the presentation, to be honest. But since no one's presenting, and yeah, I'm kind of forced into it. But anyway, okay, how am I supposed to? Okay, so let's just call it 2-stage supervised fine-tuning SFT strategy. I don't think they will even understand those terms, but we will just have to put it in here for now, and after that we need to change it up a bit. Okay. All right. That's cool. Okay. And now they talk about their data set. Okay. And now the data set. Data set. Oh man, I'm tired. Oh. Okay. And those are the few data sets there. Have I talked about it? No? Okay. Yeah, and they have some descriptions about those things. I'm just going to copy each one of them in here. Okay. Look here. I'm not going to make like the best PowerPoint presentation, and I got to admit that I'm not good at it, right? But I would try to make it like serviceable to those chemists there. And I feel kind of bad for them. It is like trying to understand something that's completely out of your field. Yeah, it's not particular. It's not a nice feeling, and I can understand that. Yeah, and I can understand that feeling, especially when I have to listen to their chemistry presentations on like synthesizing different molecules and how their synthesis is being conducted and yada yada yada, how the analysis is being done. You know, I mean, like I get what they're saying, but at the same time, it's something that I'm probably not gonna use. And I bet that if they are going through my presentation, they would probably have the same feeling. It's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to understand this, and I'm just going to shut my brain off right now. Yep, that's the reality, you know. Yeah. And this is exactly why we need AI here. Because like everyone's so specialized nowadays that it's kind of hard to appreciate the other things that you're not specialized in, you know. So okay, right. Okay. So there are some related work here. Let's just go through it quickly. Okay, overview of multimodal LLMs. In addition to text, right? So images has a lot of data in it, and like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, in this case, it would be 1,000 tokens. Um, blah blah. They're really good, such as GPT-4 vision model. Okay, Gemini, which kind of sucks. The Gemini models typically suck. And then there's like clock models and etc. Right. So all of these right here, they are kind of a list. So those are a list of models here. Um, I mean, I can put it in the introduction. Generalist VLMs. So that's the examples that they gave. And okay, let's do this. Overview of chemistry, OCR, optical character reading, and reasoning. Okay, so there's a lot of work that's tried to extract visual information from chemistry tasks. Works on diagram parsing, focuses on segmentation of molecular images, right? And the recognition of their molecular structures, and some want to understand the reactions between molecules, and a couple of researchers proposed reaction data extractor. Um, where is it? Okay, and then propose reaction data extractor to extract reaction schemes from diagrams. Okay, and a method called ChemGrapher, right? Deals with the problem in a modular fashion by using a segmentation algorithm to split the images that contains chemical graphs and to directly identify the atom locations, bonds, and charges. And okay, and we have the Schrodinger group. Okay, for those of you who do not know what the Schrodinger group is, it is basically a quantum chemistry company that specializes in making quantum chemistry software that can do a lot of things, right? So yeah, but and again, there's software, just like ChemDraw is proprietary and it's expensive. So yeah, that's what I know about them. Okay, so they presented an image to Smiles generation model back in 2019, right? Which basically is like a convolutional neural network, right, that takes in an image and a recurrent neural network model that decodes the small strings of the molecule. Okay, and there's a few people who try to predict the molecular property of the chemical, right? Okay, so those are the past few works here. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of graph. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to save it here. Okay, okay. Should I add this? I think I should. Um, yeah. Let's just get the some parts of it. Like, okay, so some parts like this. I mean, I just have to get the entire thing. So this part right here actually goes in here. Yeah. So that's that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, and now we have finally come to the meat of the paper. So their architecture for their ChemVLM. So they admit that their approach follows the model called lava, right? So, so for those of you who do not know what lava is, right? It's basically at that time, right? A few months ago, right? Actually, it's last year, but man, time flies really fast. But it's basically a visual language model tra- training approach, right? So if we take a look at their, okay, so they're not maintaining their website. That's not good. Um, yeah, let's go into Hugging Face. Let's see. Yeah, exactly here. So essentially, right, what you try to do is to get an image, feed it into a vision encoder, and yeah, and obviously the vision encoder is going to produce some kind of an embedding, which but this embedding is aligned towards the image domain, right, in the space, in the vector space. So what you got to do is that you got to apply some kind of a projection network. They call it a W here. What that means is basically a multi-layer. It's not really multi-layer if it's only W, but you can imagine a multi-layer perceptron that transforms the Z embeddings into the H embedding, right? Such that it can nicely fit in with the language model here. And what you want to do is that you provide a chemical diagram or any kind of image, right? And you put in an instruction prompt in text into the LLM, and you train it to give the correct response. So yeah, so that's how Lava works. And to say that it is directly using that, yeah, and that makes sense, right? So this is essentially a paper. This is a paper essentially about instruction supervised fine tuning in this case. So let's put in the figure here. Now let's go back to it. Okay, in the fashion of BIT, MLP, LLM. So yeah, we talked about all of these details before. Okay, okay, and now they have more information here. So the vision encoder, the vision transformer takes in images of size 448 by 448 as input. So you probably want to reshape it into this resolution, and then okay, and then it processes it, right? So okay, and the visual features are then transformed into the same dimension of the language tokens, aligning them with the text space simultaneously. Okay, right, and then talk about how the text tokens are fed into the LLM, and to say that okay, the image and text tokens are then combined, or just say concatenated, to form a unified token sequence, right? Which is then fed into the LLM. Okay, so that's pretty basic here, but yeah, but this info right here is more specific, and I think the audience would appreciate it a bit more. So I'm just going to put this thing right here. Okay, and this part right here. Yeah, and I think this one goes in here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They're not there. Here. Yeah. Image text tokens are combined, and that's pretty cool. So okay. Right. Yeah. As we can see on figure 1, they show us how it's done graphically. So this is the overall architecture and two-stage training of ChemVLM, right? So it uses both vision transformer and large language models to do their multimodal understanding and reasoning. Yeah. So like I say, right, you provide some images to the vision transformer, which then you feed the output embeddings into a projection network, and then you feed it. You feed the output of the projection into the large language model, right? And you have to specify an instruction prompt here. In this case, it's how many image. In this case, I would assume how many selenium atoms are in this molecule. Sorry, let me say. Okay, are in this molecule right here. Clearly, there's 2 in this ring, and then once you feed it in, you want it to say that, okay, I believe that the chemical structure in this small format is C1, it has C1 blah blah blah, a double bond. So there were 2 selenium atoms, and that's correct. So this is exactly what we want from the model, right? Okay, so let's take a look at, okay. Let's actually go back to this passage right here because we haven't reached the training part yet. Okay, data composition. Okay, so they will be talking about how they enhance their models recognition and understanding of images of molecules and reactions and multimodal reasoning. Okay, just give me 1 second again. It's good to stay hydrated. Okay, let's continue, shall we? All right. To improve the model's ability on multimodal molecule understanding and recognition, they collect images from different sources to cover a broad range of styles. Okay, right. And that's important, right? Diversity of data. Okay. The sources are as follows. So they get some of hand-drawn images. So it's over 7,000 molecular structure images hand-drawn. And it's drawn using different inks and types of pen. Okay, and this one, this dataset is called Decimer HDM, hand-drawn molecules, I think. Okay, next, scan and photograph style. So this one right here is essentially images with artistic enhancements and photographic distortions. Okay, so it comes from another paper called Mosquite Project, which contains molecular images sourced from published literature. Okay, and the other thing, and the last one is electronic document style. So this subset is essentially images drawn using things like ChemDraw, RDKit, and Indigo. So yeah, so it has a whole lot of different line styles and color presets. So yeah, it's yeah. So by combining these three different things together, you get a really nice diverse da- data set, right? So okay, I think I should probably state that. Uh, okay. Let's see. So they have molecule subset, which we cover, and then they have reaction subset, which we have to cover right now. Okay. So okay, how about we go back to the presentation? All right. So the data sets are those, but they also have like another data set too. Okay. Molecule subset. It's called molecule subset. And let's copy that and paste it here. Property styles. Okay. We just have to copy these three lines in here. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. I mean, it's a good thing that that these kind of data sets happen to be published on the internet, because like LMs for chemistry is such a niche uh, topic, and I can bet you that that once this video is published out on YouTube, there's not gonna be much views. I guarantee that, because there isn't much of an interest in this topic. Okay, but anyway, that's not the point, right? Okay, next, reaction subset. Uh, to enhance our model's visual understanding of a broad spectrum of chemical reaction. Okay, so they're talking about chemical reaction and synthesis processes. Okay, so they have a ton of images, right, ranging from simple reaction images to complex synthesis pathway diagrams. Now here, it is able to, okay, so they have data set for complex synthesis pathway. So, yeah, so typically if you are doing some kind of a, okay, whenever you want to like create a specific chemical substance, right? Let's say if you watch a video from Null, right? Where he wants to create a sort of candy from plastic, and usually that process isn't just like a one-step approach. It typically requires a series of different steps, right? So, so right here, if we can get the LM to understand the synthesis pathway, it would be nice. It would be actually useful. So let's go ahead and cover this. Okay, so simple chemical reaction images. So this data set has two types of images right here. One is inorganic reaction equations derived from piece data set, which includes reaction equation image. Okay, so it has reaction equation image fragments extracted from literature. And the second one is organic reactions, organic chemistry reactions, also from uh, the literature. In addition, there's created a batch of reaction schemes using RDKit with data from USVTO 50K dataset. Okay. And lastly, the synthesis pathway diagrams. Okay, so and this includes two types of images. The first one is simple synthesis routes with fewer than 5 steps. Okay, yeah. So some kind of a synthesis that that requires less than 5 steps would probably something like the synthesis of aspirate, which I think only requires like a 2 to 3 steps, depending on your depending on what you have, right? If you have like salicylic acid, it is like a single step, if I can recall. But anyway, okay. And the second part involves complex diagrams called total synthesis, where the goal is to create complex, large molecules, typically natural substances in yeah, yeah, typical natural substances or commercial substances. So it is obtained from organic chemistry data and a synthetic archive. Okay, so that's good. At least they are telling us where they get their stuff from. Okay, so what should I do now? Okay, I should probably make another slide. Because like for my presentation, I have to like cover up half an hour of period. So what I'm going to do here, data sets, reaction subset. Man. Okay, let's cover this up. So simple reaction pathways. Like honestly though, I don't feel like spending too much time for this presentation. The literature, okay, so that's that. Come on. Hurry up, hurry up. Okay. Hurry up. Now here we have the synthesis pathway data set. Okay. So I'm just going to combine that. We shall combine it this. So let's just copy and paste this. Okay, cool. And now the slide is done. It would be funny if I like don't change up anything and just present that. Just hold on a second. Okay. We are back at the game. Let's see right here. Okay. Where are we up to now? Okay, so this part right here talks about the reasoning task. Let's see. Uh, there's the phone call. Just a second. Okay, we are back now. Sorry about that. Oh man, yeah, it's kind of hard to make a video, especially there's like a lot of noises in the background. But yeah, it, it's just what it is, really. Oh, yikes, already an hour. Oh dear. I tell you what. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so those are the results there. Okay, so let's get quicker. Okay, there's a lot of details here. Let me see if it's actually important. Blah blah blah. Okay, so they're justifying and they're saying stuff here which aren't that interesting. Okay, okay, and now this part right here. How do they enhance the quality of their data set? So, okay, all right. So, considering importance of diversity, they apply a RAND depict to incorporate variation in image styles, including things like transformations of handwriting styles, grid paper backgrounds. Right, so it's different types of image augmentation methods, right? Which is very typical for computer vision, and obviously they have to do like validation checks, they're make sure that the smiles are actually smiles in that sense. Okay, and next they diversified the Q&A prompt template by interacting with GPT-4 to generate the prompts in different linguistic styles, both in Chinese and English. Okay, so right here. Okay, so that's how they do it in this case. Okay, let's see. Okay, right now, they're talking about the training strategy. Finally, oh dear. Um, blah 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 blah. Okay, right. So during training, they separate the images into pixel tiles with a maximum of 12 tiles. Is it? It has to be right. So essentially, 12 tokens. So it's like a 4 by 3. Right. It has to be 4 by 3 in this case, I would assume. Uh, Depending on the image's aspect ratio and resolution. Okay, and they use a context length of 2,000 plus tokens, right, for everything, and the response formatting follows the lava method. Okay, so in the first stage, they used a multimodal data set encompassing both general pur- purpose corpus and a specialized uh, chemical corpus. Okay, so they freeze the weights of the LLM and the base visual model and only train the randomly initialized projector and the additional a low rank adaptation. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, low rank adaptation layers in the vision encoder to make it understand the chemical space. So obviously, if you use low rank adaptation, right, it it enables you to fine tune those models without breaking your computer and your wallet. So okay, so let's actually get this part here. So, like I say, they probably wouldn't care about my audience, wouldn't really care much about how the fine tuning is being done. But I'm just gonna put it in here anyway, just in case. If there's a nerd like myself that wants to know more about it. Um, so yeah. Okay. Okay. And talk about Laura. That's good. But I'm not so sure about this part though. Lowering the risk of overfitting, but but you're still fine tuning regardless. Um, okay, in the second stage, we fine tune the model using a combination of multimodal data and pure text data. So okay, the training set includes the specialized data from chemistry and generous purpose corpus. Okay, so, and I use LoRa to fine tune the LM and the vision transformer to reduce training costs. Meanwhile, the projector is fully trained using all parameters. Hmm, okay, so that's nothing new. What do I call it? First is the alignment, and the second one is SFT, which is pretty standard. Um, so that's the second stage right there. Oh, finally. Okay. Um, all right. So let's see. Laura and so Laura tried. Okay, okay. So in the first stage, fine tune the vision transformer and the MLP. Okay, and the second stage is to fine tune everything. Right. Okay. Got it. Okay, and then talk about their configuration, but that's not really that important. And they're kind of flexing here. 16 A100 GPUs, and I only fine-tuned it for like a single epoch. So essentially for two stages, they only need to fine tune it for an effective total number of two epochs here, which is doable, especially with 16 A100s. So that's like using two DGX pods, essentially. Yeah. So that's really cool. All right, and now the evaluation part right here. So, okay, results on OCR. Okay, so they compare their approach, which is ChemVLM right here. As you can see, their number of parameters is comparable with intern BL 1.5, and you can obviously see that their accuracy is very it's dramatically better, right? And And yeah, so using the same number of parameters, you get from like 9% and all the way up to 71%. Hmm. That is really fascinating here. And also, if we take a look at the Tanimoto's similarity, I I believe, right? And so yeah, it went up from like not getting anything right to straight up to almost to like 40 plus percent. That is insane, and it's even better than GPT-4 vision model in this case, right? And I'm pretty sure the vision model from OpenAI is gonna be like at least a few 100 billion parameters, no doubt about that. And I even heard that GPT-4 is some kind of like mixture of experts. So I think it's gonna be like a trillion parameters, right? But it is split up by each expert in that sense. So okay, that's pretty cool. Um, the next one here. Okay, so this is the result for the understanding task, science Q&A for chemistry, and reasoning task. So right here, the okay, so okay, for this task right here, this science Q&A chemistry questions, right? Intern BL scored the most, right? The highest accuracy for that. But when we go to the understanding task, we see that their approach works the best, and it's the same for the reasoning benchmark task right here. So yeah, and they illustrate the performance using this chart right here. As you can see, their model is outperforming the other approaches in a lot of different ways, right? In a lot of different ways, except for this part right here, where it's overtaken by intern VL. So that's essentially 5 out of 6 tasks that they win. Uh, okay. So, but for the presentation, I can't just go through it briefly because they're chemists and they typically want to see the results. Okay. So let's say, okay. Tommy Noto. Okay, right. Let me see. Let's just ask. Okay, what is Taminoto similarity? Taminoto 1. Okay, so it doesn't even know that. That's great. Hmm. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Right. Let's read through some of those things right here. Oh yeah. Okay. Right. And the results for the chemistry benchmark, the multimodal chemistry benchmark, and the same thing happens again. It outperformed all the other approaches and even on property prediction and molecule captioning, right? And it's even better than GPT-4 vision model, and that's great. Um, Wait, just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's analyze the results a bit here. Yeah, because I'm finding something interesting going on here. If you compare it, okay, if you compare GPT-4V and the text GPT-4 base model, right, you will see that the accuracy, right, so GPT-4V scores a lower score compared to that, which is, which is kind of weird, right? You see, because just by using text, it is able to score higher accuracy in like captioning and property prediction, and not even using additional information. Okay, but I assume that maybe at the back in OpenAI, they might have made some recent changes that allow that improvement to happen. But we can't be sure about that. But what we can be sure about is that if you take a look at ChemLLM, right? The ChemLLM is essentially the LM that they are using, right? It scores, yeah, so by incorporating vision model into it, the accuracy increases by lower than 6%, right? And you can see a similar phenomenon happens as well. And this proves that their approach actually works, right? So let's see. Okay, and here's some examples. Right. Blah blah. Okay, right. A qualitative comparison of answers on on reasoning benchmark on GPT-4V and their model. Mistakes within the answers are highlighted in red, whereas detailed and accurate parts are emphasized in green. Since this is a Chinese exam question, we prepare the original Chinese text and the English translation of it. Okay, and this shows the great capability, the great reasoning capability of their approach here. So right here, okay, so this is in Chinese, so there's one mistake here and another mistake here. About this one, no mistakes for ChemVLM, and it has some great details here. And as you can see, the same thing is happening here. Yeah, I mean, because they're both the same questions, just in different language. So it's somewhat transferable, right? Right, just from this one sample size, the paper is telling us that it is language agnostic, right? Okay, so let's take a look at figure 5 here. Okay, a qualitative comparison of answers on Chem OCR on GPT-4V and your model. So okay, so as usual, single mistake here, right? And this one is the correct answer, right? So essentially, you want to convert this picture into this small string right here, and it's pretty hard to do for the LM, but not anymore thanks to their approach. Okay, so we have reached the conclusion part right here. All right, I tell you what, let's go through the results paragraphs quickly. So, okay, right. In this task, they're expected to generate the smiles for each image. They compared the model with previous end-to-end models, such as decimal, move, scribe, blah, blah. Okay, so, okay, they use 1000 image text pairs in ChemOCR to evaluate the model's overall OCR capabilities, and they compute the Tanimoto similarity between generated molecules and ground truth molecules with RDKit and report the average Tanimoto similarity and Tanimoto hit 1.0, which is basically the percentage of structures with 1 with 1.0 similarity, which is identical substructures. Uh, in that sense. No. In this case, it would be the entire structure would be the same, right? So there is not even a single wrong substructure in the entire molecule there. So, okay, and to say that, oh yeah, it is really good, you know, it gets like 40% of the complete structure correct, right, which is pretty impressive. Um, Results on reasoning tasks. Okay, so the test their model on Q&A tasks compiled from exams. Okay, Q&A from exams. So they use chemical sections of the CMMU and science Q&A data sets. So, and they also include 1000 multimodal exam questions from their custom test set. So, and the score is calculated like this. So an answer gets 1 point. Okay, so 1 point is allocated to you if to the LM if it matches all the right choices of a single or multiple choice problem, or else it gets a 0. For a fill in the blanks problem, an answer should make all the blanks right and then get 1 point. Okay, so essentially, if you have like multiple blanks in a single question, if you get one of those wrong, then you get no points at all. That is pretty stringent. At last, okay, the total score is calculated by dividing the number of questions in. Okay, so what you're trying to say is dividing the total number of points that the model gets by the number of questions that by the number of questions. Okay. Uh, okay. The results. Okay, it's state of the art. It's really better than GPT-4V. Okay, when it comes to real question exams, their approach is also good. Okay, just a bit more that we have to cover. Okay, wait a second here. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I have to like go through the entire paper just to make the freaking presentation, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't even bother going through this. Oh man, if it wasn't for my chemist audience. Okay, we present, okay, that, okay. Molecule understanding task, okay, so it is essentially captioning and property prediction. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and now this one right here, and now they provide some kind of qualitative result, right? Which is essentially this part and this part, and we talked about those before, and they have nothing else to say. But let's go into the supplementary information here. Okay, okay, now this is fascinating here. Huh, yeah, that's that. Okay, the only difference. So, okay, I spot a mistake here. Isn't it that in stage 2 you don't freeze the LM? Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to freeze it, right? Or am I missing something here? Laura LM, let's see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, technically yes, right? Because like you're freezing the pre-trained weights, but LoRa essentially operates by having another trainable component to it, and then you can aggregate it up, right? So okay, that makes sense in that way. All right. Um, okay, there isn't much here. Okay, and those are some prompts, but I don't think it's that interesting. Okay, I tell you what, I'm probably gonna screenshot some of that later. All right, and I have some more uh, things right here, and that's pretty good. Huh. More details, and they have okay prompts for filling the blanks. So there's some blanks right here. Okay, so I will probably cover these more in-depth details later in order to complete my presentation. As you can see, our presentation is still not done yet. I still have to do some more fine-tuning, fine-tuning to the presentation slides. But anyway, yeah, if you like what you saw, and I know this video is like really long already because I'm just trying to like read through the entire paper, and it might not be something that you guys like. But if you happen to find value in this paper, please do make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day. Okay, is it stop recording? Okay, right.